In Northern Ireland, we reached a milestone of 3,000 deaths due to COVID just last week. 3,000 people who followed the rules and grieved today. So will the paymaster, including my mother-in-law who died alone, will the Paymaster General confirm that there will be a full and complete disclosure to enable the police service to ascertain that all was done decently and within the regulations at the date and at that time? I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker.
My mum, loved mum, died of COVID in March 2020. She died alone in hospital while I sat in the car outside trying to be as close to her as I could. Even burdened with our grief, my family obeyed the rules. Just 3 days after the Downing Street party, we marked a solemn Eid, the first without my lovely mum. Mr. Speaker, when asked by Sky News about the parties, the Prime Minister did little but smirk and laugh.
Shame. In April last year, my friend Fit Ray, 58 years old, lost his battle with COVID and died. We went to his funeral online via video link. In August that year, my father passed away, and I was fortunate enough to be able to be in the room with him and hold his hand as he passed away. In the intervening months between those two dates, I lost count of the amount of conversations I had with families and council officers trying to negotiate more than 6 or 8 people at a funeral. Can you please explain, sorry, I apologise, Mr. Speaker, can the Paymaster General please explain why the Downing Street social world is more important than those lives and the law of the land?
We have constituent accounts from around that time. One says, my aunt committed suicide a few weeks ago and I could not hug my mum who found her body at her funeral. Another one wasn't able to visit a brother with stage 4 throat cancer or visit her 87-year-old housebound mother. With all due respect to the Paymaster General, my constituents don't know who he is. They aren't interested in hearing about his regret, his distress, his sorrow. They want to hear from the Prime Minister. And unless the Speaker has it in his power to extend Prime Minister's questions to 7 o'clock tomorrow, there's not going to be time for all of us. And I think the Prime Minister should come to this House and every single one of us should have the opportunity to stand up and read out all their long lists of cases, and the Prime Minister ought to show some empathy himself.